What's going on, guys? Coach Jeff here, lead strength coach at CTS Gym. Today I'm going to be following up with my last article on the importance of stretching, and I'm actually going to be showing you the examples of some of the stretches that I gave you. Okay, so let's get started. Let's start first with the quads. You guys probably remember this stretch from my article about alleviating knee pain. So this one's called the hurdler stretch. So we're just going to bring one foot back here as close to your hips as you can, and make sure your toes are pointed, okay? It's going to give you something to press off of to give you that tension around the quad and the knee, okay? So I have one leg out, my knees pointed out here at an angle. I'm just going to slowly lay back on my elbows here, and I'm going to hold. Okay, so I usually like to hold this stretch for about 45 seconds or so, sometimes a minute, depending on how fatigued my legs are. And then if you want, if you feel comfortable and you have the flexibility, you can slowly lay back all the way, put a little bit more pressure on that leg. Okay, so after that, we're slowly going to come up, release that leg, slowly release that tension. It's going to feel really tight when you first get up from that, okay? Then we're going to switch. So again, my foot is near my hip, my toes are pointed, and my knee is out at an angle here, and we're going to go back onto my elbows, okay? So again, I'll sit up, slowly release. Okay, now we're going to work on stretching out the hamstrings. So one of my favorite stretches I like to do is the lying hamstring stretch. Okay, so I'm going to lay on my back. I'm going to put one leg up here, okay? Then take my hands, put them directly behind my knee, clasp them together. I'm going to point my toes up at the ceiling here, and I'm going to kick my heels slowly up, straight. And you'll feel a big stretch in here, okay? So you can go back down, and then real slow, do like a 3 count, 1, 2, 3, till you feel that full extension, the knee joint is locked, okay? Another variation you can do, you can come up slowly here till you feel that tension, and you can just hold it. And then as it starts to loosen up, you can try and pull your knee closer and closer to you, and you'll really start feeling the tension on that. Okay, guys, be careful with this stretch. You don't want to overdo it and risk tearing anything. The stretches should never be excruciating or painful. You should just feel a lot of tension. Okay, so I'm going to pull it close here, and then I'll slowly let that go, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other leg. Again, clasping my hands behind my knee. Toes are straight up, and then my heels going towards the ceiling. Okay, do a 3 count, back down. Okay, so that's for your hamstrings. Another good one you can do too if you don't feel like doing that one. Spread your legs here. You either keep both legs out, or you can put one leg behind you here. It doesn't matter if your toes are pointed or not. Okay, this is actually the variation I like to do. Get my foot behind me. I'm going to put one hand on my toe and the other hand on my knee. And what I like to do is I like to stare at my ankle and just lean forward towards that ankle, like I'm trying to pull myself to it. And that's going to pull all that tension in the hamstring here and really stretch it out, okay? So again, you want to take this one slow. It shouldn't be super painful. Okay, I'm just going to slowly go down here. I'm going to hold it once I feel a good amount of tension. Maybe 20 to 30 seconds in, I can go a little bit lower, and so on. Okay? Alright, now let's talk about stretching out the hips. This is another great stretch I like to use for extra mobility and just alleviating some of the pressure after maybe days of squatting, cleans, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to take one leg here. I'm going to try and lay it across my chest. And I'm going to put my other leg back and point my toes, okay? You can hold your foot in place here because naturally your foot's going to want to slide. That's okay. If you're not able to get your leg straight across, that's alright. Okay, so we're going to point the leg back here. Again, this leg is going across the chest. I'm going to put one hand out. And I'm just going to lay my chest down as close as I can to the ground and hold, okay? So again, 30, 45 seconds, and then we're going to switch. Okay, so we'll put the other leg across here. Right leg goes back. And I'm just going to push my chest down, okay? And you'll feel all of that within the hips here, okay? All around here. Another one for the hips is the hip flexor stretch. I know many of you guys know this one. We use this at the gym all the time. We're going to go down on one knee. One leg forward, hands on the thighs. My chest is upright to create more tension here, okay? If you bring your chest down, you're loosening the tension on the hip joint here, okay? So, bringing the chest up, then I'm just going to push the hips forward, and you'll feel that real big hip flexor stretch here, okay? So again, about 45 seconds, maybe a minute, okay? And then we switch. Okay, and then the final stretch that I want to show you, there's a couple ways you can do this. This one's called the iron cross. I like to use this one a lot. It's great for the lower back. So I'm going to lay flat on my back, arms go straight up. I'm going to bring one leg up here, try to keep it as straight as possible. Now this is my right leg, so I'm going to try and touch my right foot to my left hand. I'm going to go all the way over, touch and hold, back up to the center. Now as this leg's coming back down, I'm going to bring up the other leg, and now I'm going to touch my left foot to my right hand, and so on. Okay, so you can do a set of like 10 to 15 of these. Okay, another variation of this, arms out again. We're going to bring both knees up to the chest. We're going to roll them to one side here, and then we're going to look the opposite way, keeping our shoulders flat on the ground. So you should feel all that stretching right here in that lower back. This is a very key area you want to work on after a workout, because the lower back can get very tight and cause a lot of pain elsewhere in the body. Okay, so I'm holding here, back to the center, and then I'm going to switch sides and look the opposite way again and hold. Okay, so you can alternate between both of these stretches. Get a feel for them. Okay, so I hope these stretches worked out for you guys. It's very important that you guys implement these into your routine. I like to do a lot of these at night before bed, just to make sure I go to bed loose. Because sometimes trying to go to bed when your muscles are tight, your legs are throbbing, your hips hurt, and that can actually prevent you from sleeping, okay? So try to implement these into your routine, guys. I hope these help. We'll see you next time.